Namaskaram, good morning, namaste, and welcome to Incredible India's Dekho Apna Desh series. Last time we reminded you that from the landlocked part of Madhya Pradesh, we were going to take you to the eastern city of, should I mention the name or should I tell you a few things about the place and maybe you can guess? The city that we're going to take you to today is one of India's largest cities. It's actually the ninth largest city and is also the ninth largest contributor to the GDP in India. It's one of the most developed and very fast developing cities of India. But if you're thinking it's just started doing that now, no, it's been around since the 6th century BC and has an amazing history from the time that it was part of the Kalinga kingdom in the 6th century BC. And then later in the 11th and the 12th centuries, it was part of the Chola dynasty and also the Gajapati kingdom. But then, if you thought that that's it, that it is there to this city, well, India's Nobel Prize winner, Sir C.V. Raman, came from this great city of India. That's the kind of history that this city has. And so, viewers, that's another way that we remind you of India's amazing wealth. Imagine a city from 6th century BC down till the current century coming and having a Nobel Prize winner, being born there and brought up there, to now being one of the largest growing cities of India and one of the major contributors. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about the city of Vizag. It has had a different name, Vishakhapatnam, and some others that our presenters are going to tell you about. But there is so much that this city has grown into. It has been one of the very, very clean. It was in fact voted as the third cleanest city of India. It is serviced by an amazing airport. I have had a chance to visit. And as always, my dilemma of where to choose to live in India grows every single time that I visit the gems that are not so known by some of us and the viewers from all over the world. So taking us through this beautiful city's history, past, present, and also the times to come are three people associated very closely with Vizag. Mr. K. Vijay Mohan, he's the MD of Holiday World and has been in the business of tourism and hospitality for more than 2 decades. He's also the chairman of the ADTOI, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. He has many other positions that he's holding. And also joining him today is Jaideep Bishwas. Jaideep, I had a chance to meet when I was in Vizag, and if you are there, you have to have the way that he does the food in his hotel. He's with the Park Hotel in Vishakhapatnam, Vizag. And the third, and not losing out the element of joining them, is Lakshmi Sridhar, with more than 2 decades of experience behind her in hospitality industry. She is associated with Novotel, but then she does far more than just doing that. She's going to meander you all through this beautiful city. Well, if you are there, do not forget to eat the bongu chicken. It's the chicken that is done in the bamboo, and the cooking style is very, very unique. And you have to go to the geological park, the Eramatti, Debalu, the red sands dunes that are there. Is not only great pictures over there, but you literally get lost in the history of the earth when you are in that sort of a setting. So there's so much to this city. And of course, the temples, the fact that it has so much Buddhist history behind it, the Thotla Konda and the Babikonda sites, where also I believe, of course, our presenters will tell us that there is an urn with a small piece of bone, which is believed to be part of Lord Buddha's, memorabilia that we have in India. And there's so much. And there is, of course, the Simachalam temple of the Varaha Narsimha, which is unmissable for its sheer splendor and the carvings that are there in that temple. Well, if I'm going to do all the talking, what are the presenters going to say? So I'm going to pass on the web screen stage to Mr. Vijay Mohan, and then Jaideep and Lakshmi, all three of you. Welcome for bringing this secret of India to the world. Vijayji. Vijay, can you unmute yourself?
Thank you, ma'am. Welcome all the viewers today. We're talking about Vishakhapatnam, which we call it the India's best kept secret. He was walking among the clouds at the Arku Valley, following the footsteps of Buddha, the rocky caves, which are older than the dinosaurs, the Bora caves. Now, India's best kept secret, Vizag. Vizag actually you call Vishakhapatnam, also known as Vishaka and Voltaire. It's the largest city in Andhra Pradesh, lies amidst the Eastern Ghats, the ninth richest city and also the ninth largest in the country. Coming to the history, it stretches back to the 6th century BC. It was part of the Kalinga kingdom, then later ruled by the Vengis, the Pallavas, then the Eastern Ganga dynasty. The present city was actually built in the 11th century, and the city fluctuated between the Cholas, the Gajapatis, and then was conquered by the Vijayanagara kingdom empire in the 15th century, conquered even by the Mughals in the 16th century, and then the Europeans finally eventually set up their trading at Vishakhapatnam, and end of the 18th century came under the French rule, and control passed over to the British in 1804 and remained with the British till the independence. Now coming to the city, it's also the home to the oldest shipyard. The only natural harbor in India is at Vishakhapatnam. It's the busiest cargo port, home to the headquarters of the Eastern Naval Command. In terms of connectivity, all the metro cities and the important cities are directly connected. We have 3 international flights to Kuala Lumpur, Singapore, and Dubai. And in terms of the train, we are on the Calcutta-Chennai main line, and also referred as the city of destiny and the jewel of East Coast, and also a major tourist destination, and that's what we will talk today all about. Vishakhapatnam hub, we're going to talk about Vizag today, a little bit on Vijayanagaram Sekkalam in terms of the beaches and the religious tourism, because it's all part of a circuit that we will be talking about today, and a picture of the charming beach of Vizag here. And as we move forward, Andhra Pradesh has got a 972 kilometers of coastline with 21 accessible beaches. Another wonderful view of the picture, you can see the hills, which give you what we are about the Eastern Ghats. Ramakrishna Beach is a beach right in the heart of the city. And when you look as a tourist, to go around, you have the Matsyadarshini Aquarium and the Kali Temple, which are very close by, walkable about 2-3 minutes away. Then we go down to Rishikonda, which is the most famous of the beaches, and it attracts tourists all year around. And the beaches this beach is famous for all the water sports also. And here, when we talk about, there are a lot of shops at both these Ramakrishna and the Rishikonda beach, where you have these shelf farm souvenirs which you can take back home. Bimlipatnam was a former Dutch settlement, and the beach here is with a lot of golden sand. Yarada Beach is on the right-hand side, just beside the Dolphin Nose. It's a wonderful drive when you go to Yarada, because you actually climb up the hill. You can get a clear view of the city as well as the ocean, and you can also go down to the lighthouse, where you can get one of the best views of the ocean. Barwa Beach is about 106 kilometers from Srikakulam. Then we have the Kalingapatnam, which is about 32 kilometers from the Srikakulam. Now we go forward into, as a tourist, we have Arku Valley, the Bora Caves, the Ramnaran Temple, Kailashgiri, Etukopaka, the Smachalam, Medamata Dibalu, Totlakonda, the Tu-142, the Submarine Museum. And to go around Vizag, the first picture you can see on top is the Dolphin Nose. Why it's called the Dolphin Nose, you can actually look at the shape of the hill, which is almost like a dolphin. And on top, you have a lighthouse which navigates ships from as long as 55 kilometers away in the sea. And then Kailashgiri is actually a hilltop park with about 380 acres of land with a lot of flora and with the tropical trees. Shivaji Park is in the city, which is about 16 acres, a lot of lawns, walkways, fountains, skating rings, landscape gardens, and it's also got a good small amphitheater. The Indira Gandhi Zoological Park is one of the largest spread, over 635 acres, has about 80 species and about 880 animals. The Buddha Park is about 55 acres of urban park, and it's right in the city on the beach of Vishakhapatnam. And it's really wonderful, to spend the evening out here. Now we come to the other aspects like the Karusra Submarine Museum. It's actually a Kalvari class submarine which was commissioned by Indian Navy in 1969 and then decommissioned in 2001 and brought as a museum where now you can go and see how an actual submarine looks like inside. You can see how they store the missiles, how they stay inside in a very small place, how they sleep. You get a complete experience of a submarine. The only thing here is you don't go from the top, but they have made a way from the sides where you can just go in. It's about 91.3 meters, quite long. And when I talk about the submarine, there's something very interesting story called the Ghazi attack, the true event from the Indo-Pakistan War in 1971, the true tale of the Indian Navy and the Indian submarine INS Karanj, which destroyed the Ghazi when it came very close to the shores of Vizag. Its main target was to target INS Vikrant, and was eventually made into a wonderful film. I think most of you would have seen and enjoyed it. And the Tu-142 is an anti-submarine aircraft, and it's just opposite to the submarine located, and it's a wonderful thing to see too. Then we go down to Totlakonda. It's a 2,200 years old Buddhist site, monument, and the activity here actually was there started in the 3rd century BC to the 2nd century AD. So the history goes quite long. And here you have a lot of storage. You can see storage of food, water, and it actually served as a religious academic center. There's a lot of evidence that there was a lot of teaching on Buddhism here, and the history shows that Hinayana Buddhism was practiced here. And the site, when excavated, yielded the 12 inscriptions of the Brahmi script here. Kailashgiri, which we talked about, just another picture view of it. Aramata Dibula, which Madam also mentioned, is a 1.2 million year old notified geoheritage site, and we've requested the government also to look at this as one of the UNESCO sites. The Vizag Museum, wonderful place to spend some time. All the ancient armory, the crockery, silk, coins, jewelry. It also got a lot of storage. If you can see 2 tanks out there, then you have the warplanes. You have a prototype of the submarine. A lot of history, is out there in the museum for us to spend some time. The Ross Hills, which I'll again talk as we move forward in the religious tourism. The Kondakarlava is a freshwater lake where a lot of migratory birds actually come here, and wonderful place for bird photographers. The Dutch cemetery here, it's a 16th century cemetery where, when the Dutch was trading here and when they had the trade from Beemley, and to tell you, Beemley was the first municipality in India. Bajjarakonda is the other very important Buddhism site at a village called Sankaram, which is about 45 kilometers from Vizag, where you have the replete rock-cut stupas. There is a vihara, which you can see in this picture. They had a monastery where they stayed. There are a lot of several inscribed tablets were excavated here when, go down to Arku, one of the other best places that you can actually see around. It's called the Andhra Sudi. A lot of tribals, wonderful climate, a lot of greenery, waterfalls, and the tribal museum, which we talk about. Good, wonderful picture view of the Arku Valley, a lot of which you can see. It's wonderful biodiversity and home to the tribals and the coffee farms of Andhra Pradesh. Now, the Vista Dome train. Nothing better, there's no other better way to go down to Arku. It's the best way to do it. The train goes through 58 tunnels and goes over 84 bridges. So something that you should not miss, and especially the Vista Dome coach is one of the best ways to see it. Going down to Arku Valley, what you can see around the Arku Valley is the Kadki waterfalls. It's about 4 kilometers from Bora Caves, and is also source of the Gostani River. And it's actually a virtual drop of 50 feet, which you will see in the later photographs. The Padmapuram Garden as a collection of plants and flowers. The top attraction here is the hanging cottage, which is there. Now the tribal museum. Now, this, unlike the other museums that you see, is not an historical one, but actually instead showcases the orthodox lifestyles, displays the original tribal culture that they have, the traditions, the handicrafts that they use, the fine arts of the tribals are all in the museum. A worthwhile place to go and see and actually spend. Jungle Bells is eco property of the APDDC. Wonderful place to stay at night. It's right in the forest. A lot of trails to go down, you know, the trek trails. You have the Haritha Hill Resort. Is a property of APDDC at Anandagiri. In fact, the Anandagiri is the highest point in the Arku sector. Now, as we move forward, you have the Chapraya. It's a waterfall about 15 kilometers away from Arku. It's a real natural setting, you know, and you can see it's a real cascading water with rocky pools. When we build pools, there are in fact pools in the middle of the flow. You can see one of the kids there in that pool where you can actually swim around and you can actually slide down. It's a really wonderful place. Now, Arku coffee plantations. I don't know how many would believe it, but 1.5 lakh acres of coffee plantations in this area, in this tribal regions. And the organic coffee here, under the name the Arku Emerald, has gained popularity across the world. And the Dimisa dance, a picture of what you can see here. In fact, Dimisa has got 8 varieties of dance. And all the dances' main essence is, you know, developing the friendship and fraternity. That's what all the dance formats are all about. The Arku Valley Coffee Museum is a place where you can actually go taste coffee. It's a wonderful place set up by a private entrepreneur, and he's converted that into a coffee museum showing the various seeds of coffee around in that Arku Valley. And in fact, you can also buy coffee. Now, Bora Caves. Now, this is one of the most fascinating things to see. It's a multi-million-year-old cave, and it's one of the deepest caves. And let me tell you, don't miss this. This is one of the places that every tourist coming into Visakhapatnam should see, and is a must-see. It's about 90 kilometers away from Vizag, and about another 20 kilometers onward is Arku. Katiki Waterfalls is a photograph of that 50 feet drop that I talked about. A wonderful place where, you know, a lot of people go down Lampasinge. Now, this is another very fascinating place. The local tribes actually in their local language call it Korra Bailu. In the language means you step out and you will freeze like a stick. They were actually trying to tell how cold this place is. And truly, it's the coldest place in South India, 0 to -1 in December, January. And there is an evidence saying many years back, it experienced snow. So experiencing snow in South is a very rare phenomenon. And that's about Lampasinge. And I pass on to my friend Biswas to take it forward from here.
Good morning, everybody, once again. Thank you, Ministry of Tourism, everybody involved to get us on this platform to, you know, enable us to showcase this lovely, beautiful city to all our viewers today. Now, before we actually get into the crux of tourism, what tourism entails in the city of Vizag, I must say this, I must really acknowledge this. I hail from Bengal, but I grew up in this place. And one thing that I can vouch, and I am sure a lot of visitors who have already visited this beautiful city would also agree very strongly with me, is that the people in this place, in this city, are so warm and so hospitable. I've hardly come across somebody who's traveled to Vizag found missing. You know, they've been all welcomed so warmly. So I think that is one of the most important and crucial aspect of this city, and that which explore this city. So having said that, you know, there are a few aspects of tourism which happens here, starting with the medical tourism. Vizag has a lot of, very specialty corporate hospitals that cater to a lot of people who come in from Chhattisgarh, they come in from MP, Raipur, they come in from Odisha, they come in from other districts of Vizag for medical treatment. And there is, the hospitals that are there here, they actually do specialize in knee replacement surgeries and arthroscopy. And this knee replacement surgery in Vizag is one of the cheapest across the country. It's nearly about 30% cheaper than any other place that you could get it done with. Then we also have a very eminent doctor here by the name Dr. V. Thirumal Rao. And his surgeries are this minimally invasive spinal surgery that he does. And I was told that, one could admit himself into the hospital in the morning, and by about 4 to 5 hours, surgery is done and he's back home. And this is something which is very, very unique and very, very advanced surgery which is done. Then we come into the wellness. Vizag has its own wellness center. It's the Pema Wellness. It's a beautiful resort and a retreat situated right on top of a hill, which is overlooking the ocean. In fact, the approach to this wellness, retreat reminds me of Mandrake's Xanadu, where you had this hill bungalow on top of the hill, and this road winding up to the Xanadu. It is something so akin to that, actually. And this wellness retreat is frequented by a lot of people who want to go there and detox, or you go for various healing of the body, mind and soul. They have different packages that they float out. It is something really, really unique, so well done, and they have all the technology and the human touch there to get the healing done for for the body, mind and soul. Then we come to the golf courses in Vizag. Vizag initially had one golf course, now it has two. The recent one is the one that you see on the picture. It is one of the most beautiful golf courses, I would say, in the country. If you can see, it is right on the sea beach. And this is about 50 to 60 kilometers away from the city in a place, it is in the Sunray Village Resort. That is again a resort, has its own golf course and accommodations and whatnot. But it is a beautiful golf course, and a lot of localites actually frequent there. And you can see from the picture, I'm sure people love to play golf over there. The other one, which is the first golf course that Vizag had, is the one at the East Point Golf Club. And it was recently revamped, and it is an 18-hole golf course, and it is beautiful among lush green countryside, but not very far from the city actually. And it holds a lot of tournaments annually, both national, people come from various other places as well. So, and the who's who of the city have membership in that golf course, golf club. Then we come to the MICE segment in Vizag. And Vizag in the last, I would say in the last probably about 6-7 years or so, has grown into a conference and MICE destination. Why? Because there were new hotels and new convention centers which came up with such big convention halls which could hold up to 2,000 people indoors. One is the V Convention, that's a standalone convention center, which can actually hold about 2,000 people. Then you have the Novotel, which is on the beach road, which it can actually hold about 1,200 to 1,300 people. Then you have the Taj at 800, Daspala 600. And then you have other hotels as well, but their conference halls are a little smaller, but they all have conference spaces. And so Vizag actually had started becoming a major MICE destination. And there were a lot of important and international and national MICE events that have taken place in this city for the last 5-6 years. Then we come into entertainment. Vizag, as you all know, is now a Test cricket center. It had also hosted a lot of one-day internationals, a couple of years of IPL, and so we have this beautiful stadium which is slightly out of the city and nestled between hills, and it's a day and night stadium, and in fact it is proud. It's a stadium which is quite proud to have witnessed Dhoni's first century in his cricketing career. Incidentally, I mean, after having watched the movie Dhoni, I also realized that he first fell in love in the city of Vizag. So that is something unique, I guess. So apart from the stadium, also you have a skating rink in Vizag where you have people going, localites who go for skating. You have go-karting, and then you have bowling alleys, and you have pubs, you have microbreweries, and you have some nightclubs out here. The nightclub scene out in Vizag is also pretty decent, especially on the weekends. The nightclubs are they are prevalent in Novotel. They've got a lounge bar. One is there at the park called the Tribe, and one is also there at the Taj, and a few more over in the city. Then we have shooting, movie shoots. That is very popular in Vizag actually. A lot of we often get to see movie shoots happening on the road, especially on the beach road. We get to see them happening in various locales across the beach road on the seaside. Also, they happen in Aruku. In fact, if you all remember this famous movie Ek Duje Ke Liye, which had Kamal Haasan and Rati, was shot entirely in Vizag, but that was quite some time back. And Vizag was not the way it is now. And then we have our own movie studio. It's called the Ramanaidu Movie Studio. Again, it is situated on a top of a hill, jutting out into the sea, and you can actually, people go there and see everything that is to be seen in that studio. And Vizag also is grown, I think, over the last, again, 5-6 years, or a little more, as a unique destination wedding venue. Now, people come in from Bilaspur, Raipur, Bhubaneswar, Calcutta. We've also seen people coming from, Northeast, Bangalore. Some people have come in even from abroad, and they've actually done their, the weddings took place in Vizag. Now, the park, for example, has the highest, the biggest or the largest outdoor space, can hold about 3,000 people on the beach side, and people can, actually do a lot of theme weddings there. So it's a very unique place. And then we have the Vizag Convention. Also, it's an indoor space, but can hold large wedding, theme wedding gatherings out there. So is the one at the Novotel, and then at the Sunray as well. And then we have a few more destination wedding places. The other hotels also, like the Marriott, the Four Points, the Taj, the Grand Bay, the Dolphin, Dasapalla. And of course, there are a lot of local weddings also which take place. So it's Vizag sees a lot of people getting married every now and then when the season is up there. So having said that, I'll now give it over to Ms. Lakshmi. She'll take you forward with the cuisines and other aspects till I come back.
Namaskar, namaskaram. Good morning, everybody, and thank you very much for giving me this opportunity in this wonderful platform, which is Vizag Dekho Apna Desh. I will call it as Vizag Dekho Apna Desh, Hamari Zubani. People call this as Voltaire, Vishakhapatnam, Vizag, but I will call this as City of Destiny. So much so I can relate it to myself, because 25 years before, I'm a Delhi girl, and 25 years before I got married and came to the city, thinking that I'll go back and in a year or two and settle down, because of you can imagine from Delhi to Vizag, how is it? Trust me, it's just 20 to 25 times I have been to Delhi from the time I have come to Vizag. That is why I relate this city as City of Destiny for myself. So much serene, so much peace, so much of greenery, one can not find it anywhere else. So this city has given us so much, and it is actually with the traditionally, culturally, it is so rich that one cannot take off their eyes from it when they come and fall in love with the city. Whether it is IMA, whether it is ADTOI, whether it is IATO, all of them have conducted their annual event over here, and they all have to say that This city is just superb, and they've taken a memory back home and cherishing this for the months and years to come. And then when it comes to cuisine, yes, Andhra Pradesh is rich in all the spices, hottest, spicy, rich of all the Indian cuisine, I will say. And I will take you through only few of the cuisines, which is very famous, and one can talk about it actually. That is of, I'll call it as bongo chicken. It is also called as bamboo chicken. And in the Adivasi language, we call it as kufia sidira. And this is an Indian tribal language. It is a delicacy of tribal dish, and it is a huge hit amongst traveler. This is a delicacy which is cooked inside green bamboo stock without oil, so making it more healthier and delicious. Locally found herbs are used to marinate for making the marination and giving this chicken a unique taste. So please do not miss this once you're there in Araku, as rightly mentioned by Vijay Mohan sir. Yes, it is Araku is Andhra's Ooty. So please, you can't miss, if you are not able to go to Ooty, please come to Andhra. You will feel the same experience over here. So how can you forget about Araku coffee? When you talk about Araku, the coffee, the originally, the organically planted the coffee beans over there, it has come a long way from Hamlet to Paris, and Araku coffee has come a long way and is set to lure the taste buds, not only in here, but in globally it has taken its place in the market. So coffee being, we are all a coffee lover, and nobody will say that I'm not a coffee lover. So if you wanted to have a real organic coffee, please, you have to visit, should put in your bucket list. And how can you forget the pappu chekka, peanut jaggery? I mean, for the sweet tongue people, it is peanut jaggery is, I mean, in Delhi, we call it as mufli ka patti, sardiyon mein khana chahiye. But then here it is when you have to come, the jaggery has a very different taste, and you will say this, अगर खाना है तो जाओ आंध्रा में जाओ और peanut jaggery खाओ, pappu chekka खाओ. And then khaja, Kakinada is very close to Visakhapatnam, and khaja is another sweet which is truly a relishing and a delicious sweet dish. One must taste this. Potlam chicken is another dish which I feel that it is masala chicken and cooked in a wrapped banana leaf. Please mark a note of every dishes I'm talking to you today, and please do not miss it out when you're next here in Visakhapatnam. How can you forget Andhra pickles? Andhra pickles are the most delicious pickles which can actually suit the palates of all the taste buds. I mean, whether it is spicy or tangy, one has to come to Andhra to taste the varieties of pickle which is Andhra, this beautiful state, is famous for. Mango, lemon, garlic, chicken, mutton, fish, prawns. Yes, not to forget gongura chicken. It is a green leafy vegetable which is found in Indian places, but mostly found in Guntur region of Andhra Pradesh. So it has all the, it has all the health benefits also, and vitamin A, B, and C can be found in this pickles. So please do not forget when you next visit to Andhra Pradesh and taste all these things and put it in your bucket list, not to forget. Thank you.
Coming back to give you an insight about the hotels which are available in Vizag for the tourists to choose from. Now we have hotels, about 147 of them, of various sizes, mid-size, small, big, in Vizag, and the price range would range from anything between 2,000 to 7,000, 8,000 rupees per night. Now, starting with the five-star hotels, we have the Novotel, which is on the beach road, very grand hotel with all its rooms facing the ocean, and also known for its convention center and big events. Then we also have the Park. The Park, incidentally, is the first five-star hotel in whole of United Andhra Pradesh, even before Hyderabad had a five-star. It's just celebrated its golden jubilee last year. And this is a unique hotel spread over 6.5 acres of land, situated right on the beach, having its own access to the beach with sprawling landscaped lawns. Then we have the Taj Gateway, again, a very unique hotel, very unique and on the beach road with all its rooms, again, offering you a fantastic view of the Bay of Bengal. And again, we have the ITC Grand Bay, which is again very close to the Novotel and the Taj. The Novotel, Taj and the ITC, all the three are very close to each other in a cluster, in a triangular cluster. And then we have the 4 Points by Sheraton, slightly inland, but a fantastic hotel again in its own sense. Dasapalla, this is another iconic hotel in Vizag. Who doesn't know Dasapalla? I mean, we all in our hotel fraternity in Vizag call it the food factory. I mean, they dish out volumes of food every day. I mean, right from breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So that's a very, very unique hotel, especially when it comes to food. Then we have the Novotel, the other Novotel at Beamley. It's a smaller 28 room hotel, which again faces the ocean. Then we have Dolphin. Dolphin is another iconic hotel in Vizag, which is downtown, close to the port and the market area. And this hotel has been there also for quite some time. And Dolphin is again, a lot of people who have traveled to Vizag in the old times would relate to this hotel, Dolphin. And then Palm Beach, there's another hotel which has been existing in Vizag for very, very many years, situated on the beach road, again on the seaside of the road. And we have, as I was saying earlier about the golf course at Sunray Resort. So there you have Sunray, which you can see on the picture. This is a fantastic resort spread over 80 acres of landscape lawns. And it's about 55 kilometers from the city. And it has got individual, individual bungalows that you could rent out with their own private swimming pool. And a very popular destination, especially for the weekends. And also a lot of destination weddings get done there. So this is a very, very private kind of exclusive private space that one could look for. Then we have the Fairfield by Marriott. This is one of the recent additions in Vizag. It's located closer to the airport, and a lot of people who love to stay near the airport choose and prefer that hotel. And we have another hotel, Green Park, which is part of the Green Park chain, which is coming up in they have their presence in Hyderabad and other cities as well. And this has also been there for quite some time, downtown area. Then we have the 4-star and the 3-star. We have Rockdale, Keys, the ITC Fortune, Royal Fort. These are all hotels, again, which are quite in downtown area, Meghalaya, Quality Inn, Vivana. So these are the hotels which offer, tourists they give them the exclusivity of staying within the city, get to understand the buzz of the city, walking distance from most of the shopping centers and, street food eateries and so on and so forth. Then we have Cypria Resort, which is again a very nice boutique resort, which is near Rishikonda, again situated on the seaside. And they have their restaurants and open spaces for banquets, quite a popular resort. And then we have the other hotels like Dasapalla Executive Court. Now, Dasapalla Executive Court is very close to the Apollo Hospital and the K Hospital, and I'm sure caters to a lot of the medical tourism fraternity who come in to Vizag. Then we have the Ginger Hotel and Mantris and Ambika Sea Green. Ambika Sea Green is again on the seaside, they have rooms which offer view of the sea. Bayview and Dwarka Inn, the Port Hotel and Budil Park. These are again the nice, very nice three-star hotels that are available in the city. So, so by and large, most of the hotels in the city that offer accommodation are very unique in themselves. So there's no dearth of rooms. It fits everybody's budget. And then we come to the exciting, places to eat in Vizag. Vizag, first of all, I must say this Andhra cuisine, I think I find it one of the best in the whole of South India. It is so tasty, and it's got a variety of cuisines from different regions of Andhra. And if one wants to experience that in Vizag, there are a lot of places to choose from. So we have the Zafran, which is the specialty restaurant in Novotel, a very, very nice, opulent, exclusive restaurant there. Then we have the Shack, reminds us one of a very Goanese shack kind of a feel, right on the beach side, located inside the Park Hotel. And one could sit there in the afternoon or in the evenings, and you could hear the sound of the waves. A very, very relaxing place actually. Then we have the Ming Garden at the Taj, which is the exclusive Chinese restaurant that they have. One of the best places to have Chinese food in the city, authentic Chinese food in the city, I must say. Then Oceanic Pavilion at the Grand Bay, that they have, I was told that the best buffet, Rolls Royce of buffet, that they are always advertise the buffet as. Then we have Dakshin, Dasapalla, which caters to very authentic Andhra cuisine. Anybody who wants very, very authentic Andhra cuisine goes to Dakshin at Dasapalla. And it's, as I said, it's one of the most unique hotel which dishes out authentic food. Horizon at Dolphin is on their 8th floor, gives you a panoramic view of the entire city, all across anywhere from the restaurant, you could actually get a view of the city. They've got their own live band over there. Then we have the Palm Beach with their open air cafe again on the seaside, another unique hotel which has been there for quite some time. And Mekong, the Pan-Asian restaurant in Green Park, another very nice, opulent and exclusive restaurant one could dine in. Now, Vizag also has this unique food street, and it comes alive after sunset. And you could see there, there are stalls, various catering to various tastes, dishing out different kind of street food, and that place is buzzing with activity. Actually, the moment nightfall comes in, there's one unique thing that we have near Rishikonda, which is called the Raju Garu Dhaba, and this dhaba has been actually captured and covered in a lot of channels who've been doing this food, cuisine shows. And so this family of this couple, Mr. Raju and Mrs. Raju, they run this dhaba. It is a very, very down to earth ethnic place, nothing very flashy, but they cater to mostly non-vegetarians, and the biryanis are very famous. It is very difficult to get a parking space there. One has to wait there, especially on a weekend, to actually get in there. This is a must try for anybody who would want to go and feel and absorb what Vizag eating out is. So Raju Garu Dhaba, one must remember, you must visit there. Then you have the Sairam Parlor, which is again a very famous parlor in the city of Vizag. Most of the people, it's always crowded. Most of the people you'd see for breakfast, or whether it's lunch or dinner, when they're going to office, they would drop in. When they're coming back from office, they would drop in. Maybe they would take a break from office and they would drop in. It is always busy. It's just a parlor, people standing there, and self-service, and it's fantastic. Then you have the Shorefront restaurant, which is again in Rishikonda. It's in a beautifully located place, if you can see there in the picture. Excuse me. And they have the restaurants over there, which again give you a sea view there. And it's a nice dining out area. If you're going to Rishikonda, and you want to grab lunch, that's the place to do it. Lakshmi, over to you.
Hi. Good morning once again. So Vizag, Dekho Apna Desh, it doesn't end over here. It has so many hidden culture and traditions, not only the culture and tradition, but also the arts and crafts. So Etikopaka lacquer craft is one amongst that. It's a lacquer craft, is the application of lacquer on wood in pleasing shades and colors to create a distinctive appeal. The beauty of this craft lies in painting the smooth wooden shapes, black bangles, lacquered bottles, and containers are a must-see on your visit to Andhra Pradesh. Children over here, when they come to our hotel in Novotel, they say they can't pronounce this Etikopaka properly because it is from the Etikopaka village, and they say, "Wo that wooden toys we needed," they say. So we know what they mean it. So it is Etikopaka lacquer. So when next time when you come, please do not miss to see this and go to the village and explore this. Then comes to Boboli Veenas. Boboli Veenas are a classical Indian string instrument famous for their beautiful earthly sound. And nobody makes it better than the Veena artisans of Boboli. It is made of jackfruit wood actually. And then they say that the Veena, I mean, if it is played and you don't need a voice for it, you know, it's itself is a complete song you can hear through this Veena. So that beautiful it is. And then Upada saris, I don't have to grab the eyeball of all the ladies over there. Yes, it is very famous, Upada sari. It's a sari style woven in Upala village of East Upala village in the Indian state of Andhra Pradesh. It is located in 16 kilometers from here. And then you have Ponduru cotton. Ponduru cotton is again, it's a khadar, it's a handloom thing, which one will visit over here. They will come to know what is the speciality of these kind of the varieties of saris they can get to see over here. So next time when you're here, you know what to do. Buditi brassware, all these 3 generation families from the village of Buditi have been practicing this unique art from the carving out idols from brass, bronze, and panchola, and alloy of copper, silver, and gold, tin, and iron. Their phenomenal work has found in this area. So found its way to many temples as well. You will see in temples also these artifacts. So please mark a list of all those things which I'm seeing. Please do not miss out when I'm here. You know what to do. Please put it in your things to do list. Thank you.
Hi friends, I come back to talk about the adventure at Vizag, you know, the water sports at Rishikonda. Then you can do the rappelling at the Chaprai at the Arku Valley. I showed you the Chaprai, where the water was flowing down, and scuba diving. Now, this is one of the new additions to Vizag. You have to start up early in the morning at 5 o'clock. Wonderful experience of diving in the sea there. Now I go down to the Eastern Ghats. Now, the Eastern Ghats, you can see stretches from Orissa down into Telangana, Tamil Nadu, and Karnataka, and 40% of the Eastern Ghats are in Andhra Pradesh. Now, the Eastern Ghats has got wonderful trekking routes, and Jindagadda is the highest point in the whole of the Eastern Ghats. It stands at about 1690 meters or 5840 feet. Now, the trekking routes, you look at this map down here, you can see 4 trekking routes, and you can do a trekking for as long as 4 nights, 5 days. Now, the other thing is the Kambalakonda area, where the Kambalakonda is, in fact, the trekking route is, this is in the city of Visakhapatnam, just adjacent to the Visakhapatnam Zoo, where you can do a trek for as long as 4 hours early in the morning, and they have a lot of other sporting activities, adventure activities in the Kambalakonda. Water sport activities at Rishikonda, the picture talks all about it. You can do the canoeing, you can do the banana boat rides, you can do boating. Now, vintage Vizag. Now, this is a different aspect of Vizag which we're getting into. Now, the Dutch cemetery dates back as to 1659, which is in the bylanes of the old Vizag. The King George Hospital started off in 1923. The collectorate building started off in 1865. The St. Aloysius School is the oldest school in Andhra Pradesh, established in 1847. The Hawa Mahal was built by the Maharaj of Jaipur. 1917 was when it was constructed. The Victoria Town Hall was done by the Maharajas of Bubli in 1893. We also have an heritage walk which talks about what we have seen and other things. We start this at the town hall, which we just spoke about. We go through the town hall lane, go down to the Purpa market, which was the old market of Vizag. Then we go into the European cemetery, which we just talked about. Then we go down to the Queen Victoria Pavilion. Now, the Queen Victoria Pavilion has got a lot of significance because when the Indians requested her to come to Vizag, she promised, but when she couldn't come, she sent a statue of her, which was installed at this place. So You have a bronze statue of the Queen Victoria here. Then you have the St. John's Church, the Queen Mary, the Medina, then the St. Aloysius, and the lighthouse. This was the old lighthouse, which was replaced by the new lighthouse on the Dolphin Nose. Now, Vizag as a gateway to religious tourism. This was what I was talking about, the Ross Hill, where you can see this hill which has got all the three faiths. You can see the church, the Ross Hill on top. You can see the Venkateswara Swami temple on the left-hand side. On the right, you can see the Medina Dargah. So, and as we go forward, now this is an aspect which I want every listener to take note. Now, out of the 18 main Shaktipeethams, Andhra Pradesh has 3, and 2 are within the region of Visakhapatnam. The first is the Shaktipeetham at Pittapuram, which is about 150 kilometers away, is the 10th of the 18 Shaktipeethams, and is one of the 5 Madhav Kshetras, and is also one of the 3 Gayas. Now, that is a point that you'll have to all note, the 3 Gayas of India. And the next is the Draksharam, which is the 12th Shaktipeetham, and is one of the Pancharamas, and is also called the Dakshina Kasi. Now we go down to Simachalam. It's a Lord Narasimha Swami temple, the man-lion avatar of Lord Vishnu, a very ferocious god. That's why he's always, packed over with sandalwood. You can see the picture on top, which the god inside, and pasted with a lot of sandalwood to keep him calm. Another picture of the Simachalam temple, the Gopuram. Now the Annavaram is about 100 kilometers away. It's known for the Satyanarayana Swami temple and known for its vratas. About 2 lakh vratas are performed in this temple every year. Arsavali is a sun temple, which was actually built by Devendra Verma in the 7th century. It's quite an old temple. The significance of this temple is the sun rays fall on the feet of the deity twice in a year. Another picture of the same temple. Now, Sri Kurmam is about 13 kilometers away from this same temple, which we saw, the Arsavali Sun Temple, built in 1281, is dedicated to the 2nd avatar of Lord Vishnu, the Kurma avatar. Now, Ramanarayan Temple is about 40 kilometers away from Vizag. It's a unique spiritual theme park. You can see the shape of this temple is in a bow and arrow structure. And when you go inside, you're able to see the depicts of the 72 episodes from the Valmiki Ramayanam. So it's a wonderful place to go and see in the evening, well lit. They have a kind of a small musical show, laser show that you should not miss. Now, the Buddhist footsteps of Buddha, wonderful place. You can have a 4-night, 5-day itinerary made out of the Buddhism sites in Andhra Pradesh. As we move forward, we start off with Visakhapatnam on day one. We go to Saili Undam, then we go to Ramatirtham. Then we come back to Visakhapatnam for the evening. Then second day we do Totlakonda, which we already talked about. Bavikonda is very close to Totlakonda. We have Avarala Konda, and then we have Vajjanakonda also, which we talked about, which we do on the day 2. Day 3, we go to Kotturu. From there, we do Kapavaram. Then we go down to Aduru. And then we stop at Bembaram for the night. And next day, we move on to Gantashala. Then we go to Guntapalli and then Amaravati and stop Guntur. Please note, all the places that I'm talking about have wonderful sites of the old Buddhism sites, which date back to the 2nd century. Then last day we do Guntur, Nagarjuna needs no mention. Everybody knows about Nagarjuna Sagar. And then we come back to Vijayawada, where you can depart back to your places. Now we go down to this tribal circuits of Visakhapatnam. The Visakhapatnam district has a total population of about 3.5 lakh of tribals. And there are about 14 tribes, groups, famous being the Bagata, the Kotiyas, the Kondadoras are one, then the Nokodoras, then the Konda Kamaras, the Konda Kapu, the Malis, the Purja, then the Manadora, then we have the Valmiki clan of thing, then we have the Kiyu, and then we have the Gadava. Now, Gadava tribes are the most prominent tribes, and in fact, they are the oldest and the most colorful tribes that you can find. 35% of them are in the state of Andhra Pradesh, 59 in Orissa, 5 in Chhattisgarh, and 1% in Orissa. So you can actually do a wonderful circuit coming into Visakhapatnam, or going into Orissa, and then you can do a run around, and then you can go back. A picture of the tribes that are located in this part of Visakhapatnam in Andhra Pradesh. Then you can do a 4-night to 5-day circuit on Visakhapatnam, the tribal circuit. The day one, you can come down to Vizag, relax a little bit, see things around. Second day, you can do the Totlakonda, Bhimli, Rishkonda. Then you can do a heritage walk. Then you can do, next day, you can go to the Kondiba village. It's a wonderful place where you can interact with the tribes. Now, the significance of this village, the doors to the huts are about 150 to 200 years old. And even the weapons that they still use are about 200 years old. Then you can go to the banyan tree, one of the biggest banyan trees in this area, spread about 4 acres of land, huge one. Then you can now drive down to the Chompi village, where you can see how the tribals do their pottery and the lac work. And then we can stay night at the Araku, and next day we can go to the village called Pribada, where you will have to actually trek down from the road point to visit this Kiyu tribe, which got a very unique language, and they're actually considered the most diminishing language, which only about 28 people still speak this language. So that's an experience that you can do. Then we depart back to Vizag. Then Vizag as events. We had the International Fleet Review. We had the Arts Festival. Then we have the Navy Week, which is done every year at the end of November, and it's the best time to visit Vizag. We have the balloon festivals at Araku. Now, when we talk about MICE, destination wedding, nothing is completed without some good anchors and singers. And Vizag has the best talent of anchors, all originate from this part of the state. David, which you can see as one of the most sought after singer for MICE groups across India. There's about 100 events in India and 20 to 30 abroad. Then you have Vaishali, who's one of the busiest anchors, who's sought after in pan-India events. Then you have Neha, who's a wonderful singer, trained by a Britisher. Then Swapna. Then you have Sneha also, who's a good anchor. Anu, one of the other good singers. We have Anjali and a good anchor, Lavanya, and then Maisi, Satya is another good anchor. Then you have Shivani, and then you have Vani, who's another good singer. When you talk about itineraries, Vizag can do a 1 night, 2 night, 3 night. But one of which I would want to talk is a 5 night, 6 day, the experiential tours of Visakhapatnam, where we do the Visakhapatnam, Araku. Then we do, this itinerary is all what we talked about, where Lakshmi talked about the Biditi, the Konduru, then we Yarsavali, Srikurmam, then Etukopaka, then we go to Anavaram, do the Shakti Peetams, then we come to Uppada back, we do the, come back to Vizag, then stay in Vizag, or you can do the Sunray, which Biswas talked about very keenly, then the day 6 we can depart. Now, Vizag, I would actually talk about as a gateway destination to Orissa and Chhattisgarh. When we talk about Chhattisgarh, you know the famous waterfalls, the Niagara of India. We can spend a couple of days here doing an itinerary in Chhattisgarh. Then you can move on to Orissa, where you can do a 1 night, 2 nights, 3 nights, or a 5 nights doing Bhubaneswar, Puri, and Konark. We will soon be having our own edition of the Hop On and Hop Off, which will be one of the good things to happen to our city in terms of tourism. And Vizag is soon going to have its own tourism police station to give you assurance to all the tourists and on the behalf of all the travel agents, hotels, and the tourism department. We all assure you that Vizag is the safest, and going forward, we're coming with this tourism police station. And I come down to the end of my presentation, and I take this back to ma'am, who would take it forward. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot to MOT for giving us a chance to do a wonderful thing on Visakhapatnam, the city. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you to the three of you, I should say, for bringing actually the hidden secrets of India. And I'm sure all our viewers, aren't you just blown away? People have been asking how many days itinerary is enough. I think the probability that what Lakshmi went through might happen with some others too, that you go from Delhi and then you come back to Delhi only 25 times in 25 years. There is nothing that is not there in this beautiful part of the country. whichever aspect of tourism is of interest to you, whether it is religious, whether it is wellness, whether it is medical, whether it is heading out to the caves, whether it is to study the lives of the tribals, whether it is the beaches, you are spoiled for choice. I think we need another webinar to come on this part of the world, because I think today we've possibly just been able to touch upon a few of the amazing aspects. I'm going to very quickly try and run on a few questions with any of you may take it. That is there any antiques market in Vizag?
We have the Lepakshi and the Eastern Art Museum, Eastern Art Gallery. There's a lot of artifacts of the local areas.
And in Vizag, if you wanted to taste Araku coffee, how could you have that?
They have installed their centers.
Okay, okay. And in Lambasinghi, is there accommodation?
Not much, ma'am. You have some tented which come up during the season time. APDDC just come out with a few rooms, but I think the government is looking to take Lambasinghi to the next bigger platform. In terms
How
of
far is it from the city of Vizag?
Takes about 3 hours of drive, ma'am, to reach out.
Okay. Okay, and how much time does one need to spend there in Lambasinghi?
Ma'am, what people do is they go to Araku and early in the morning around 2 o'clock they drive to Lambasinghi, because that's the time when they can actually feel the real essence, the real climate of Lambasinghi. And there's certain people who stay in the cars, go midnight and then to just get the experience of Lambasinghi.
Okay. Now, Lakshmi mentioned about the saris, the Upadas saris, but I also must remind and tell the viewers that this part of India is known not just for that, but also I think for the Venkatgiri saris, also for the Kondapalli dolls that are made of the Poniki wood. And I believe the dolls literally come to life in the way that they are made. So that's something that you must take away when you go home. And there's also the hand crochet lace. There is the Banjara embroidery, and of course, the dance forms that come from here. I think Kuchipudi, if I'm not mistaken, was first time, experienced in the Krishna district somewhere. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So Kuchipudi dance, which is a phenomenal amalgamation of music and abhinay, is a great wealth of this part of the world. But then apart from Kuchipudi, there is also the Veer Natyam and many other dance forms. So if any of you is interested in dance, this is the place to go to. There are also the Butta Bomalu, the basket puppets, and the amazing art and the skill of the Burra Katha, the art of storytelling. I think there's just so much in this part of the world, viewers, that why don't we get there? And how to get there, they've already mentioned to you about the airport, which is an international airport. It's very well connected to many Indian cities and also to some flights, I think, coming from Malaysia and Singapore. Is that right, Vijay?
Yeah, ma'am. Malaysia, Singapore, Dubai, we have that.
Right. And the roads in the city of Vizag, I can tell you from my personal experience, they are very, very good and very well maintained roads. There's more than 2,000 kilometers of road within the city of Vizag. And the beautiful beach road, you just have to go on that. And of course, also serviced by an A1 category railway station. It also has a port, which is India's second largest cargo handling port. It is one of our 13 major ports. And not to miss the Vista Dome, which takes you from Vizag to the Araku. It's a Ministry of Tourism's train. So I think the walls are entirely glass. So you literally feel as if you're driving through the ghats. And of course, the cruise shipping, which Vijay has already mentioned. And there is, I think, is there a cruise still between Vizag and Andamans?
Yeah, ma'am. The government has, the shipping corporation has.
Government has, right? So I think viewers, we will definitely need another visit to Vizag, maybe virtually also, but physically. And so that's one big question which Vijay, we need to answer. People are asking, when should they travel to? What is your sense developing as of now? And minimum number of days, what is it that you recommend to a traveler coming to Vizag?
Ma'am, Vizag is very safe because, we have wonderful hotels which following all the SOPs, and they've gone beyond the SOPs. If I have to mention, there's a big list of SOPs which they have done beyond what ministry has asked them to do. And in terms of an itinerary, you can even stretch to 1 week. Is what I like. If you're looking at experiential, it's a 1 week itinerary.
Okay. Now the backpackers have a question that are there homestays and is there something for the backpackers there?
Jaideep, whether you answer.
Ma'am, we have, there's not really homestays. The concept has not really come into Vizag yet.
Mm-hmm.
However, we have certain service apartments which have, cropped up in the city. And so one could choose even them. They're very nice, very comfortable, have all the basic needs that one could look for and not very heavy on the pocket. So within the city, they could also choose from these service apartments and smaller guest houses, which are run.
Okay, I think so. So I think if you're looking for any budget kind of a stay experience, well, Vizag is your place to go to. It is very well connected. It's very safe. They've mentioned to you about tourist police, which is coming up. In fact, safety is an aspect that we are taking up very seriously from the central ministry also, not only because we need to make safety happen, but also create a perception of safety. We understand that the safety of our travelers and tourists is crucial and critical for all of you to travel the different parts of our country. And as always, but coming to an end way too early. It's already past 12 and viewers, many more questions and many more queries coming in from you. But I think we need to leave some queries because you need to go and experience the beautiful city of Vizag and the neighboring areas, because virtual only whets your appetite just that bit. The real thing is in actually going and eating the bamboo chicken and some gongura pickle. I think there is so much about spices in that part of the world. So we are going to move from Vizag with a heavy heart because we want to go there soon again, aren't we? But we're next week on the 1st of August, we're going to take you onto the other side of the coast and we're going to take you to the land of Gujarat. We are starting the 1st of August from Gujarat, viewers, not only because we love Gujarat, for its beautiful beaches, the Statue of Unity that has come up, the arts and the crafts and the music, the dandiya, the dhokla, and so much else that is there with us from Gujarat. Not to forget Mahatma Gandhi, Sardar Patel, and that's why on the 1st of August, we are kicking off August from Gujarat because 15th August, do I need to tell any of you? No, it's the Independence Day when we celebrate the independence, and how we as a country are celebrating it is something we kick off on the 1st of August. Do join in at 11 a.m. from the land of Gujarat. For today, we need to sign off now from Vizag, and a big thanks to Vijay, Jaideep and Lakshmi for bringing us so many different vignettes and so many different elements of this beautiful city of Vizag. So thank you, viewers. Thank you so much for supporting us and joining us every single time, and lots of queries keep coming from you. Many of you have also started sending us your own thoughts on how you want to showcase your part of the city, your part of the town, and we are very, very happy to encourage all of you. If we have not responded to some of you, it may only be because we just have so many of you to take care of, but do keep sending your inputs, do keep sending your queries, and do keep sending your ideas on what you may like to showcase. As I always mention, this is your platform. We just put it together for you. Therefore, your ideas are most important to us, both from the point of view of being the viewers and also the presenters. We are just there as sutradhars. So join hands with us and bring our beautiful country to all our fellow countrymen and everyone else in the world who joins us in these Dekho Apna Desh initiatives. We'll keep bringing you many, many more beautiful parts of Atulya Bharat, Incredible India. Dekhte rahiye aur swasth rahiye, satark rahiye. Do not drop your guard. We need to beat Corona. So keep wearing your masks when you head out, keep washing your hands, and follow the instructions of the health authorities. So stay safe, stay healthy. See you on the 1st of August from the land of Gujarat. Namaskar.
Thank you.
Namaskar, everyone.